Disney's D23 has been happening over the weekend, and I'm going to rank all of Marvel's content from least exciting to the most exciting. So if you want to let me know down in the comments below what you're most excited for from what Marvel announced this weekend, let me know in the comments. Starting in 12th place is Season 2 of Loki. And before coming into D23, we've already known about Season 2 of Loki and about having Kang the Conqueror back in it. And during the event, the people at D23 were shown footage, and from the footage that's been shown, it's said to have given off a creepy vibe and that Loki's warning everyone about the war with Kang the Conqueror. And that could also lead into the Avengers movie that's going to be happening later on in phase 6 with Kang's dynasty, and we also know that Kang's going to be in Antman and the Wasp, so it'll be interesting to see how all those link together. In 11th is Armor Wars, with Don Cheadle's character Rhodey, also known as War Machine, coming back to be the main star of this, and the series has been set as what if Tony Stark's tech got into the wrong hands, and I think that premise is very interesting based on all the tech that we've seen Tony Stark have throughout the years and all the equipment that he's been able to build with all that tech. And now seeing that tech in someone that isn't trying to do good, and with War Machine trying to stop them, that's a really interesting concept to see, and how War Machine's able to handle it, as we've only seen him really as the sidekick, so to be able to see him in his main show, that would be really good. And it's also said that War Machine will have new suits as well. In 10th place is Ironheart, and we've had our first look at Ironheart in the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer, and I feel like how she's going to be played in that movie is similar to be how Tom Holland was played in the Civil War, with having her appearance but yet having their own series after to flesh out the character, to have the character's proper origin. And it was also announced that Anthony Ramos is going to play the villain as the Hood in Ironheart. This isn't a character I know too well from the comics, but I'm interested to see how they handle this character both in Black Panther, with the tone of what we've seen from Black Panther so far, and also developing her into her own TV show. In 9th place is Echo. Echo, who appeared in Hawkeye last year, having her own spin-off show, and at first I didn't really see the need for it, as it was just another spin-off show based on a side character. However, with this being street level crime, also having the announcements that the Kingpin's going to be back in it, and also having Charlie Cox's Daredevil, this feels like a very Netflix Marvel series, and that's for the better. And it'd be interesting to see where they take the character of Echo and the relationship with Kingpin, as we saw at the end of Hawkeye what happened to both of those characters, and adding in Daredevil and seeing what he brings new to these set of characters. And in 8th place is the Fantastic Four, and this is in 8th as we didn't really get a lot of announcements about it. We only got the confirmation of the director, which is going to be Matt Shakman, and he was rumoured to be directing this from about a couple of weeks ago, and now we've got it confirmed at D23. And he was also the director of the WandaVision series, and I really liked those series. I thought it was directed really well, and it was one of the better Disney Plus shows that we've gotten so far. I think it went off the rails towards the end, however it was the most consistent and the most intriguing. Every week there was a new theory that everyone had, and now he's got the task of directing the Fantastic Four. And as we've seen in the past, it's been quite hard to direct the Fantastic Four, as we've had some projects from the Fantastic Four in the past that's gone terribly wrong, and it's going to be a real hard job to get this beloved group of characters from and be able to portray them on screen right, with so much pressure on it as well. But I'm excited to see how he does it. In 7th, it's Antman and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is the first phase 5 project, and it's going to be big in the sense that this is the first time we're going to see Kang the Conqueror in the movies, not just on Disney Plus. And also, what was said at D23 was the fact that the events of what happened in Antman and the Wasp: Quantumania is going to lead up into Kang's destiny in phase 6 as well. And the movie's also meant to be having a deep dive into the quantum realm, which is going to be good as well, because the fact that we've seen it in the last Ant-Man movie and also in Avengers Endgame. However, this time seems like we're going to be spending more time in the quantum realm than we ever had before, and it'll be interesting to see how it all ties together with the quantum realm, with Kang, and how Ant-Man's involved, in the sense that Ant-Man movies in the past have been really small scale, with villains like the Wasp and also Yellow Jacket, who's only appeared once, and now they're going from that type of the villain to like the main villain in phase 6 with Kang. In 6th place is Daredevil: Born Again. And at San Diego Comic Con, it was announced that Daredevil Born Again is going to be 18 episodes, and we've had them back for D23 this year, and it was more or less confirming what we've already known. And I'm really excited for this. Daredevil on Netflix was great, and we're going to see that we're getting a lot of Daredevil over the next couple of phases, with him turning up in She-Hulk, which is probably going to be coming up while I'm filming this next week. Also, we're getting him in Echo, and we're getting him in his own show, 18 episodes, which is even more than the episodes that were on Netflix. And it's interesting to see how they're going to break up the episodes. Or even if that's too long, as I said, that's more than their Netflix ones. And it's a lot more than what Disney's been doing with Marvel shows at the moment, with 6 to 9 episodes max. And only worry with this is tone of Daredevil. As we've seen, especially in Phase 4, they've gone for a more jokey tone, more unserious tone in that sense. And Daredevil on Netflix was very serious and very gritty in the tone. And I saw some comments saying that, from Charlie Cox, saying that the tone, that upbeat tone in that sense, the always jokey tone, wouldn't really fit the Daredevil character, which reassured me a bit, as I don't want it to stray away too far from what they've been doing with the Netflix Daredevil. However, reinvent it for the MCU. In 5th place is Werewolf By Night, and this is the Marvel project I was the most pleasantly surprised with at D23, as I didn't even realise this project was coming out until I saw the trailer. I didn't know really anything about Werewolf at Night, and watching the trailer I still didn't know what to expect, apart from it's horror and it's Marvel and it's coming out this Halloween. And to be honest, if this wasn't done by Marvel, I probably wouldn't watch it. But the fact that it is done by Marvel and it's something so different is what's really intriguing me to it. And also to getting to know new characters as well. So I'm looking forward to see what they bring with that. In 4th place is the Marvels. At the time of D23 coming around this year, we've already seen all 3 of our main heroes in the Marvels, with Captain Marvel, with Miss Marvel, and Maria Rambeau. And since then, we've already seen Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel interact in a way with the post-credit scene in the Miss Marvel show, with Captain Marvel ending up in Miss Marvel's room. And we also now know that Miss Marvel's a mutant. I'm not sure if that will play a part in this show. However, we do know that all 3 of them are going to team up. And the reason this one's so high up is for the fact that it was said yesterday that each time the heroes use their powers, they end up teleporting and trading places, and they have to end up working together to fix the problem. And that just sounds really intriguing and really interesting, and I want to see how that plays out on the big screen. And in 3rd place is Captain America: The New World Order. And the big news with the Captain America movie, this D23, was the fact that Tim Blake Nelson's character is going to be back in the MCU for the first time since the Hulk movie, and is going to be playing the leader. And there seems to be a lot of going back to the Hulk at this point in the MCU, with having She-Hulk, the Abominations back, and now we're having the lead who was last seen in the last Hulk movie. So I'm really excited to see how they do this and where they go with this character. And in 2nd place is the Thunderbolts. And we finally got our lineup for the Thunderbolts, which is going to end Phase 5. And the team includes Val, Ghost, Red Guardian, Yelena, Winter Soldier, US Agent, and the Taskmaster. And even though we do have the teams, I do have my concerns with the teams, as I don't think all of the villains were the best done in their movies, like Ghost, like Taskmaster, and especially with Taskmaster, as I felt the character was really underutilized in Black Panther and wasn't really the main villain, but just more of the henchman sidekick, and you didn't really get to see her in action doing what she does best, and that's replicating the skills of her opponent, like in Black Widow, and you only really got to see that properly in one scene. And hopefully throughout this movie we'll get to see a lot more, and I'm excited to see where they take this and what directions they take the characters in, and will we see the characters before the movie, as I don't know if they're going to be explaining everyone's backstory again, as we've already seen them, but we've had different levels of character development with each of the characters. So I would wonder, are we going to bring the characters as we know them now and then straight into the movie, or are we going to develop them more in other projects so we know a lot more about each character by the time we get to the Thunderbolts. And also what villain's going to be in it as well. This is going to be a big movie, as it's going to end phase 5 and kick off into phase 6 with the Avengers movies. So I'm guessing it's going to have something pretty big to do what's happening in phase 6 as well. And in first place is Secret Invasions. And this is in first place because at D23 they announced and showed us the trailer, and that trailer was really good. And I say that for the fact that of the tone of the trailer, as I said earlier, a lot of the MCU's projects so far, especially the last 2 that we've had in Thor, Love and Thunder and in She-Hulk, have been very jokey. There's been a lot of jokes, there's been a lot of humour in those projects, and this trailer just seems so much more serious. And also we're going to have Nick Fury back, and technically this is the first time we've seen Nick Fury in a long time in Spider-Man Far From Home. That wasn't actually Nick Fury, that was a Skrull, and now we're seeing him back on Earth. He looks a lot different, he's got a beard now, and the fact that we're going to be like, us as the audience aren't going to know who's real and who's a Skrull as well, which is going to add to the intrigue of the series. And overall, I'm just really, from that trailer, the last couple of trailers that Marvel's done have been really great, with the Black Panther trailer and now Secret Invasion. So let me know down in the comments below, what are you looking forward to the most out of all the MCU projects that happen at D23 and also at San Diego Comic Con. And tomorrow I'll also be having another D23 video, however this time focusing on everything else that was announced, like Pixar, Disney Studios and also the 20th Century Fox. So come back tomorrow and I have my top 10 announcements that are not MCU. Thank you for watching.